Welcome back, everyone, to
all of the above season 3. I've noticed I'm more chatty in season 3.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad, because
yay!
Editing this shit when it's just me talking is like...
I think it's more... It's not as, like, oh, this is a thing, when I'm sitting in a closet.
Yeah, there's a lot less pressure to that, and what was it, like, we did them on Thursdays.
Yeah.
For season 2, you had... What, one morning class, and then you had...
I had one morning class, the class before that, and then the class we shared.
Yeah. And so, like...
I was up at, like, 6.
Yeah, you had shit going on before that. This time, I don't know what you were doing before this.
Watching Courage the Cowardly Dog.
There you go. Also,
in my pajamas, yelling at my computer, trying to burn a CD.
We forgot to mention, fucking Hey Arnold is so funny.
Oh, yeah. Just turn off the volume and just watch that shit. Even with the volume. So, Kimba, my name's Arnold, Grandma. No, you Kimba now. What?
I also watched a lot of classic SpongeBob. So fucking funny. Like, the DVDs. We had the DVD. I had a Game Boy Advance cartridge with 4 episodes on it.
Nice.
It was like 20 frames per second, like 144p.
I remember when the movie came out. Oh, dear sweet Jesus.
That marked the beginning of new SpongeBob.
Yeah.
The Goofy Goober bullshit.
The kids at the, because I had to go to a daycare thing after school because my mom would work until like 9.
Yeah.
The kids there watched that movie so much that the director hid it. Like, he was just like, fucking no! Not anymore!
I'm done! But, one thing that we were going to not mention as much as discuss, was something that because I've been watching a lot more, wrestling and stuff, but, SummerSlam happened, but, that's not the main...
I saw a bit of that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay culturally relevant to you, Jacob.
The clip I showed you earlier of The Undertaker laughing.
No, I saw more.
It's fucking creepy. But there's this podcast called The Whole Effing Show.
Sit here! I have a fucking show on Saturday!
And they discussed wrestling's Mount Rushmore. And essentially, the guidelines for this is the 4 most distinguished people, and we're going to go with video games, so characters, because putting Shigeru Miyamoto and Hideo Kojima and Koji Kondo and fucking...
I have no idea what any of those people look like.
It's just a bunch of Asians and then Reggie. So we're going to discuss video games Mount Rushmore. And originally I was like, let's do all of video gaming and then go bit by bit. I'm thinking, let's go major company by major company.
Okay.
And then build up to video games all time. I think what we should do, instead of going by individual like video game companies, more like...
We'll get more when we
Xbox,
get,
PlayStation, Nintendo. Let's just do the big 3 and then go from there.
Alright. Let's start with PlayStation, because they have a shit ton more games.
Yeah. And I think one thing that we should establish up front is that if it's cross-platform,
it doesn't matter.
Should it count?
Yeah, I think it should, because there's a lot of good games that get a lot of not flack. Flack is bad. But a lot of publicity because they're really good games, but we shouldn't count them out because they're cross-platform.
Well, then how do we decide which mountain to go on?
Because, like...
Which version's better?
Because I was going to say Solid Snake, but if you count cross-platforms, he gets cut out. Because he's now on Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah, because...
What are they most
known for? Like, when you think about it, which company did they go for first? Because with Solid Snake as an example,
PlayStation.
That's PlayStation all the way.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, that's good. So for PlayStation, your first nomination, Solid Snake?
Yes, Solid Snake.
Absolutely agree.
Ratchet and Clank.
I'm gonna say let's put Ratchet and Clank in standby just until we get through a few more names. Just because there's so much ground to cover with PlayStation, where I think no doubt in my mind that Cloud Strife needs to be on there.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII. We got Ratchet and Clank in the wings.
Jak and Daxter,
Crash Bandicoot, Spyro.
Crash Bandicoot has to be on there.
Sly Cooper. Crash Bandicoot, definitely. Yeah. I'm going to agree. Crash Bandicoot.
He's a staple, because they still go with, like, buy this and you'll get a Crash Bandicoot game.
Yeah. So we got Spyro, and you can argue their cultural impact with Skylanders is huge. Of course, that's mainly on Nintendo now, which is weird. So what are the other big PlayStation staples? We already have Metal Gear Solid, we got Final Fantasy, and we got Crash Bandicoot.
I wanted to say BioShock, because that was a big one on PlayStation, but I always think of Xbox because that's mainly what I played it on.
Yeah.
But BioShock could be in there, because you could be a Big Daddy on their All-Star.
That is true. They pretty much laid claim to it at that point. That's a tough one, because with the examples of Snake and Final Fantasy, they started somewhere where it was specific, and then they branched out.
BioShock and some of the newer games were cross-platform when they started.
From the very beginning, yeah. But then you get something like PlayStation All-Stars, where it's like, okay, this is like, and then you get...
These are the PlayStation All-Stars.
God of War.
Yeah, God of War.
Kratos is a big one. That's a tough one to skip by, although I'm not sure it had the cultural impact that it could have had. It definitely was a huge seller. And
had the fan base.
It definitely had, and still has, the fan base. A lot of people still love God of War. But is it Mount Rushmore material? Destiny is a big one, where they're cross-platform, but they have PlayStation exclusive stuff.
Yeah.
But since Destiny is kind of faceless and new, I'm not sure that it would be fair to put them on a legacy thing.
Yeah.
Because Mount Rushmore is the symbol of legacy. And so
these people are like, their games might have not been around for a while, but you can look at them and know who they are.
Yeah, like, because people from around the world are traveling to see this monument to gaming. The biggest icons from PlayStation's history are on this thing. Only 4 of them get to be on there. Jak and Daxter, I think, is more recognizable on a physical standpoint than Ratchet and Clank. But
The Last of Us.
The Last of Us
is... forgot about The Last of Us.
Ooh, that just makes things more complicated, because...
I haven't played The Last of Us, but Patrick keeps trying to get me to come over. And I do. I have to go over there and play it, because I gave it so much shit when it first came out, because of...
Isn't, like, the 1.5 of that game with, like, the little girl or something?
I think so.
So, who would we put on there?
I'd probably say Joel, the
main guy?
Yeah, the main character.
Despite him not even being in future installments?
Yeah. Because he was the moving force behind the first one, from the look of it. Because you're the guy who's playing him. It's like saying the big daddy you are in BioShock 2 doesn't matter in the future. The little sisters might be more recognizable, but you're the driving force behind it.
Okay. Now let's say, take my mom, because, just for example, take my mom, put her in front of a panel of video game characters. You got the Big Daddy, you got Joel, you got a bunch of other ones. Who's she gonna take the longest to say is from a video game? Probably Joel.
Yeah.
Because he looks just like a dude. The Big Daddy is like, holy fuck, this guy is this huge thing with a big drill. That's probably my biggest thing against...
With, because Cloud Strife, he looks enough, like, his hair would give it away, like, immediately.
Yeah. And then Snake is just iconic.
Yeah. But when you have average... Not average, because he gruffed up and fucked up a bit.
Yeah.
But it's the average... He's like the Booker DeWitt.
Yeah.
He's kind of generic looking, but you know which franchise he's from.
Yeah.
If you've seen it.
The large theme of The Last of Us is making it as real as possible. And in that, you can't have a completely what the fuck is this guy character. You have to have a guy that you can identify with. Someone who's made mistakes, paying for it, and is just trying his best in a horrible situation. And in that case, you cannot have someone who exists out of the binds of their game. Because if you do that, you lose the essence of their character. Now, if you take a Big Daddy out of, let's say, Rapture, you still know what the fuck a Big Daddy is.
Yeah.
You are not missing this guy. Big Daddy doesn't lose the essence of his character because what is he going to do? Try to find his little sister. Even if they're not there.
Yeah.
Throw him in New York City, he's going to be chasing around some little girls that are like homeless little girls. But, you know, stuff like that.
Kill the shit out of a few cops before going down.
Yeah, so then you got Kratos, who has existed in a whole bunch. He was in a golf game, for fuck's sake. Like, special unlockable character. Didn't make any sense. Jack and Daxter is...
Then you got to imagine what he'd look like on a mountain. Cause...
Yeah, I mean, it's... From an aesthetic standpoint, it's all difficult to imagine.
Yeah.
Especially a Big Daddy. Because that would be like, the side of the mountain would have to be...
It's just an orb.
Just an orb with a huge stone drill. Like, that's what the fuck it would have to be.
Spins. You just, if you live near it, you can hear the engines whirring on every morning.
Jack and Daxter looks... you can tell... I'm gonna say my vote is for the Big Daddy. Just because Kratos... they had the following for God of War, but it's kind of like Gears of War in that it was the thing when it was going and it was there.
But then...
And then as soon as it was done, it was like, oh, it's done. What's this next shiny thing?
New thing!
Yeah. Jack and Daxter, huge impact, but we already have someone on there that represents PS1 starting up era. And Ratchet and Clank, I think, from a pure revolutionary standpoint, very integral, but not as recognizable in a sense of what the fuck is that. But a Big Daddy, you can tell that thing means business. You can tell that thing has a story behind it because you can't just have that and then not wonder what the fuck.
Not explain it.
Yeah, if you don't know what it is, you want to know what it is, and if you know what it is, you're glad it's there. Would you agree? I
would agree, yeah.
All right, so our final PlayStation Sony Mount Rushmore is Solid Snake.
Easy pick.
Cloud Strife.
Again, easy pick.
Crash Bandicoot.
Easy pick.
And the Big Daddy from BioShock.
That one was hard.
That one was hard, but because it had a lot of competition.
Yeah.
I think when you boil it down, there's not a lot of arguments for it not being on there, other than that it started cross-platform.
And people could argue for other things, but these are our opinions.
These are our opinions. We'll be glad to hear what you guys think in the comment section below.
Post it in the comments.
And
we love reading them.
Yep. And the next one, we'll probably do Xbox, Microsoft, their Mount Rushmore.
Everyone knows what Nintendo's Mount Rushmore is.
Yeah, it's going to be super easy to do that one. So we'd be like a 5-minute episode at max. But either way, so thank you all for listening. We'll see you on the next one where we discuss Xbox/Microsoft's Mount Rushmore, their most iconic, legendary, impactful characters. Only 4 of them get to make it in, so it's going to be a brawl to figure that out, because you're a Microsoft fanboy, and I've been playing Xbox 360 since I got one. So thank you all for listening to the first episode, the third part of the first episode of Season 3's...
One part of an episode of some first episode of Season 3.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Caleb.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye!